Good morning, my dear students. Today we are continuing with our chapter 2 in Geography, Physical Features of India. Students, in our previous lecture, we were studied about the Peninsular Plateau, in which we were studied about the Central Highlands, the Deccan Plateau, the Western Ghats, and the Eastern Ghats. Now today I will explain you about the Indian desert and the coastal plains. Now students, Indian desert. The Indian desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. It is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. It receives very low rainfall below 150 millimeter per year. Luni is only the large river in this region. Now, through this map, you can saw that it lies in the Indian states of Rajasthan, southern portion of Haryana and Punjab state, and northern Gujarat. Now, the Great Indian Desert is also known as the Thar Desert. It is a large arid region in the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent with an area of more than 2 lakh square kilometer. It lies mostly in the Indian state of Rajasthan and extends into the southern portion of Haryana and Punjab states and into the northern Gujarat states. The Thar Desert is situated partly in India and partly in Pakistan. In India, the Thar Desert extends from the Satluj River in the north and northeast, surrounded by the Aravalli Range on the southeast, on the south by the salt marsh known as the Run of Kutch, and on the west by the Indus River plains. It is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes, barchans, crescent shaped dunes cover larger areas, but longitudinal dunes becomes more prominent near the Indo-Pakistan border. Through this map, you can saw that it lies mostly in the Indian states of Rajasthan, southern portion of Haryana and Punjab, and northern Gujarat. It has arid climate with low vegetation cover. Streams appear during the rainy season. Rivers don't have enough water to reach the sea. Now students, the coastal plains. The Peninsular Plateau is flanked by a stretch of narrow coastal strips running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. Now the western coast, sandwiched between the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea, is a narrow plain. The northern part of the coast is called the Konkan coast and central stretch is called the Kannad plain, while the southern stretch is referred to the Malabar coast. Now students, the coastal plain starting from the Gulf of Kutch in the western coastal plain. It moves southward along the borders of Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Kerala and touches Kanyakumari, the southmost tip of the Indian mainland. From Kanyakumari, the coast moves northward and reaches up to West Bengal. This part of the coastline is along the Bay of Bengal. Such a long coastline is very useful for our country. Fishing as an important occupation of the people living on the coast. Now the western coastal plain is divided into three: Gujarat coast, Konkan coast, Malabar coast. Now, the Gujarat coast lies in the northern part. It lies between the Gulf of Kutch and the Gulf of Khambat. The Konkan coast lies in the middle part and the Malabar coast lies in the southern part of western coastal plain. Now, the middle part of the western coastal plain, that is known as Konkan coast, starts from the Gulf of Khambat and stretches up to Goa. It is very rocky and uneven. Now, the eastern coastal plains begins from West Bengal in the north and stretches up to Kanyakumari. The eastern coastal plain begins from the West Bengal in north and stretches up to Kanyakumari. It passes through the coastal areas of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. It lies between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. The northern part of eastern coastal plain is called Northern Circus and the southern part is called the Coromandel coast. The western coastal plain is wider and level and it is run along the Bay of Bengal. It is divided into two parts. The northern part is called Northern Circus. The southern part is called Coromandel coast. Extensive deltas are formed by large rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Kaveri. Chilika Lake is an important feature along the eastern coast. Now, thank you, students.